Welcome back to another sketchbook video. I went to edit this one and found out that my microphone had picked up nothing, so that was really cool because it was even bouncing on the little sound bar and everything the way that it's supposed to. This picture right here was something I was considering drawing. It's just a character that I set inside a world from some of the books I'm reading because I have a problem. But I finished those books, so maybe now I will get back to doing some other things. I have actually been drawing more. I was glad I waited to do this video for as long as I did because by the time I made it, my fingers were feeling better. They've been super sore for about a week, where when I touched stuff it was very uncomfortable. If you see the bumps on my hands, pretty bad on my right one, that is just part of my UV allergy, so just ignore that. It's my fault. I was riding in cars and I wasn't pulling my sleeves over my hands or wearing any gloves, so that takes care of that. Anyway, I was going to go ahead and do the butterfly pin one, and I wish I would have made the pins a little bit more obvious, but I really failed at that. I should have made them longer or something, but I didn't, and that's okay. So yeah, I did go ahead and do this one instead. I figured, it's already got a thumbnail, and I already said that it was something I was considering doing, so I just went for it. And the other one is a mask. I designed it the night before. I was trying to figure out how to play off of it, where if you were standing in the dark and someone shined a light at you, it would look like an owl face, and I figured you'd have to taper out the feather kind of stuff made in the metalwork, so that the way that the shadows splayed over the top of it would give it a sense of perspective, going backwards at the top and the bottom, which would mean that the front part would actually cast the light back and look more convex. So that was the idea behind that. I don't know if it really even works, but I gave it a shot anyway. I did him in blue first, that sketch, because I figured it would be easier for me to figure out how I wanted the butterfly sitting on his face, where I wanted it to go. I would just do a different color, and I would have the whole head drawn and not make the mistake that I did in the last one, where I didn't draw enough of the head structure underneath, and it just ended up looking a little weird and the head looked a little big, so I didn't want to do that again. I just did this, and I don't make this symmetrical. I could have done some things to make it that way, but I just I decided not to. And it's not like I don't try to make them look similar, but I didn't want to go through what I was going to have to flip it and make it look exactly the same. It's a sketchbook page. It's fine. I can't remember the name of this butterfly, but I did look up pictures, and I had one up for a little while just for some of the general shapes, and then thereafter I just did whatever I wanted because I didn't really care if it looked exactly the same, to be honest. So yeah, sometimes my memory will kind of play into it and I'll get close, but not really on purpose. And I went ahead and just inked with a pen like I usually do because I decided I was going to do some ink wash on this one because it's been a while, but I have all of my stuff sitting out and it's pretty easy to get to at the moment. So I figured it was time. Which is good because I miss it. I did do a little bit of shading. My thoughts going into that was hoping that I wouldn't have to use as much ink, but I did use a lot of ink. I was building my values up for a really long time, and even still I don't think that they were that great. I probably should have made him significantly lighter than I did, but I still don't hate it. It's still fine. And then I ended up going over the top of some of the stuff with highlighter, and I think I should have just dug around and found my other colored inks and use those instead, and then maybe it wouldn't have looked so muddy. Because for some reason my highlighters were kind of pulling the black, which is a shame. So it did muddy it a little bit. And then at the end of this video, my camera kind of just died, but I was wearing my headphones, so I didn't even hear it at all. And I actually had to film this in 2 days, because the first day I started a little late and I was running out of daylight, but the big part of that, the whole reason I started late, was because I charged 2 of my batteries for my camera the last time I used it to put it away, and I knew there was still one that needed to be charged. I know this for certain, but this keeps happening. I take one out and it's dead. And I'm like, oh, this is just the dead one. It's fine. I take another one out. It's dead too. I know I have 3 batteries. I should have 2 charged batteries. So I don't know if I'm having an issue with my charger or one of the batteries or whatever, but the temperature hasn't fluctuated enough for it to be, something like that. So a bit annoying, but it kind of messed me up. Yeah, so maybe I really should just invest in a charger that charges 2 batteries at once. Because it just ended up taking me a really long time, and obviously the batteries run out so much faster than they charge. So yeah, it's fine. I did it one day and then started up again the next day to finish it out. I still ended up, hitting it a bit late, and I had to give up filming after it died, and I didn't realize, and I had done a bunch of, well, not a bunch of stuff, but some little things. I decided that I might as well just finish it off camera. It was only a couple tweaks. It really was nothing insane. Like, I used an acrylic marker that I've had forever, and I think you guys have seen it a couple times. It's not really a brand name thing. Just, yeah, something I got from a Sketchbox like 3 billion years ago. And I went ahead and filled in some of the yellow spots that I put on the butterfly, because they ended up looking a little muddy. But I don't remember where my blue marker is, but I think I have a blue one, a green one, and a yellow one, but I only had the green one and yellow one in my little bag thing, so. This is the beginning of the ink wash. I've had this little porcelain plate thingy for a really long time. I think one of my cousins saw it at like a secondhand shopping thing at their school, and they got me and my sister each one to put paints on. So I mostly use mine for ink wash because it cleans off well enough, even though I get kind of worried that I'm going to wash off the little flower bits, because that old style of painting is kind of cool. But yeah, still on my weird reading kick. I've read 8 books or something in the last little while. If I'm not counting audiobooks, it's like 8 books in the last little bit. But I'm actually feeling a little bit more like drawing again. Not that I haven't been drawing, but feeling a little bit more like I just want to draw all the time. And then I was looking all over, because I know I mentioned that I was going to do a sketchbook tour of my toned sketchbook from Inktober, and I kind of couldn't find it anywhere. I had it in a box apparently with some of my books in it, but I had already looked through it, so I don't know how I missed it. I think it was tucked under something maybe. Even though I literally took everything out of the box, I must have just picked it up with a couple other things. Whatever, that's besides the point. I found it just today, actually. And I only have, I think, a few pages left in it. Maybe 8 pages or something. So I'm actually thinking I might finish that completely, and then I will go ahead and just do a sketchbook tour of that one. So that's why I didn't make a sketchbook tour. It's not because I forgot, it's because I couldn't find the freaking book, and now I have it. So yeah, I'll try to finish that out and then we can just actually go through it, even though I'm sure some people saw all of the Inktovers, or at least some of them watching the videos. So yeah, but I'll go through that. And eventually I need to scan it. I haven't forgotten that either. One of these days. Yeah, you can see a lot of this. I skipped around a lot through the editing process because a lot of it is just building tone very, 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 very slowly. Because I got a little bit timid with it from not doing it for so long, but it's okay. I still like the feeling of it. I really enjoy it, and it made me want to do watercolors again still. And I have those new sets, and I would really like to do watercolors, but the last time I tried to do them in this book, they ended up looking really washed out, and I don't want to use anything fancy on the paper if that's what it's gonna do. So yeah, I'm kind of curious because I have some liquid watercolor as well. It's really saturated, and I'm curious if it would work on this paper or if it would do the same thing and just kind of suck the life out of it. I don't mind using just the markers or even ink wash on here. It's not really a big deal to me. And I do have other colored inks that I could mix together and almost use like paint if I wanted to. You can see that it's kind of starting to get dark already. My camera's trying to adjust to it. Honestly, the camera's really good, even in the dark. Does way better than most of the other things that I've used. Like if I was using my phone right here, it would look way darker, but this camera adjusts really well. Oh, it's the Sony ZV-E10, I believe. And I really, really like it. The hair kind of turned into a mess for a little while, and I had to mess around with it to get it to look a little bit better, but it's okay. Sometimes that happens. I was trying to get the hands roughly the same size, and then I also didn't want to give him like huge freaking hands like I sometimes do, so I was really trying to measure for a little bit of that. And then I did do this background stuff right here, but I eventually just took my Sharpie and I just made it completely black. I'm sure it looked fine as it was, but I'm just like, I need some more contrast. I need some darker darks because I just went so dark on the body, and I did a bad, okay? But it's okay. It's fine. Again, I don't hate the picture. It's not perfect and it could have been cooler, but it's in the book now and it's fine. So but now I'm trying to decide if next time I want to do the mask thing, video or no video, because I like that character just for fun. Started feeling like I'm not doing as many like cool dynamic things in this book. I think I mentioned that before, but I feel like I'm not sketching enough. And yeah, well, and I think a big part of that is I used to sit at night and do it, and I've just been drawing on loose paper at night, so maybe I'll get back into doing some more gesture studies and see if that like gets me back into that zone again. And I really just cannot stop thinking about the comic. I really want to do it, but I've had some stuff to do for the business. And I still have some stuff I should do for the business, quite frankly. So I need to work out some sort of schedule and then try to get my butt out of bed at a decent time. I mean, I'm not getting up super late. It's like, 8:30, but to me that's kind of late for some stuff I want to do, especially with a limited amount of daylight. but I'm just not sleeping. So there's that. This is just one of the Coal Erase pencils. It's just in black. And I didn't want to keep building the tone anymore, so I just took it in and started using it. And this is the highlighter. Yeah, you see it's kind of pulling it. It was a little bit annoying. And actually isn't as bad with the yellow, but with the blue it really did it, and it just made the paper look kind of gross, but I can't do anything about the blue one because I don't know where that acrylic marker is. Maybe I should have pulled out my gouache and seen if I had a decent enough color to match that and just laid it over the top. Next time. Maybe next time. I'd love to practice with my gouache too. I think about it a lot. I'm just horrible about getting set up for things because I have to move a bunch of stuff to even get started. So I just default to things that are a little easier to reach for. It's pretty slow going. I actually had quite a bit of footage for this one to go through and just skipped through a whole bunch of the boring, redundant buildup. So yeah, that is where it died. This is the finished picture. I hope that you like it. Let me know in the comments. Have a good day or night, and bye.